What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, Crypto Nation? What's going on, man? I had somebody in my last video ask me to talk about or review Green Tree, and I started to take a look at it, Green Tree, and you know what? It's funny because I saw this token. I've literally clicked on this token about, at least this is probably like my fourth time when I got asked about it, because I couldn't remember what they were talking about. So I was just like, what are they talking about? What's this Green Tree? So when I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. So I just kind of want to give you my first little impressions of it from what I see. And I'm going to tell you how I kind of look at these projects on a one-on-one basis. First of all, what I try to do is I try to stay objective, whatever you want to call it. I try not to get emotions involved, and I try to look at it from a standpoint where it's like, oh, okay, go ahead. I'm going there. Yeah, I try to look at it from a standpoint where it's like, okay, some of the first things that I look at when I'm looking at some of these dApps, man, the first thing I look at, obviously, is the name. You know, I can really kind of care less what the name is. If it has a decent name, then it's like, oh, okay, little point. But the second thing that I usually look at, right, almost immediately, is the 7-day chart. I'll look at the 7-day chart if it has one. So if you're on a site that has like a Dex Guru, if you got like Dex Guru or something like that, the first thing I usually do when I'm interested in something, let's just say I see it, I'm like, oh, Green Tree. Saw that on like dApp Radar. Let me click on that. I look at it, I click it. It has like a little chart already on dApp Radar where you can change it up to 30 days or something like that. Yeah, you can do that. So the first thing I look at is the chart. And I want to see, what I look for is I want to see the trend of the daily volume moved, you know, your daily 24-hour volume move. I want to look at that. I want to see how it's trending. Is it constant? Is it going down? Has it been going down? What was it looking like when it first started to where it is now? Look how many users are involved. How many users are actually involved? And then the third thing I do, once I look at that chart, obviously, I will click on it. I click on the app, and when I bring it up, the first thing I look at is the price. All right, I look at the price. I see what the price is. I go ahead and grab the I grab the contract, and I will head to like Dex Guru, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, wherever you can find up-to-date information about it. Usually I like to go at Dex Guru. I'll plug it in and I'll look at the chart for like the last month. A lot of these are new, so they won't even have a month of logging to do. So when I look at that, I look at what the trend was in the last month. If it started out high and it crashed low, and that usually tells me one or two things. This token may have had an ICO and dumped right at the beginning. But that's kind of what I look at. The next thing I look at when I'm on the actual app, when I have the app launched, the next thing I look at is I know what I want to do. I want to stake. Now, honestly, personally, for me, I don't necessarily like to do farming yet. I'll just say I don't like to do it yet. Nothing's really made me want to do that. But single coin staking, that's what I look at. So the first thing I do is I go to the pool. I find the pool and I look to see if there is a multiplier. If there is a multiplier and it's above 10, that's always a good thing that I see. If it has a multiplier, regardless, nice. If it has a high multiplier, even nicer, right? Second thing I look at is their calculator. And most of these dApps calculators are going to be based on a per $1,000 a token per $1,000. So for example, if you have Greentree, we're talking about Greentree, right? If Greentree is, if the token price is like $36, then what I do is simple. You just take $1,000 and divide it by the price of the token. That's how many tokens you're going to need. So when I looked at Greentree, I saw it was like around $36, $35, $36. And so that lets me know right then and there I need about 28 to 30 tokens to equal about $1,000. So once you have that $1,000 of tokens, that's when you can go to that calculator and kind of see what you can be looking at per day, per week, and per month, per year. I don't really look at the per year as much because I just don't know if I even plan on being in these tokens for a year. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I doubt it though. The reason why I say that is because you don't know how long these things even last, man. A lot of people just dump them, man. And so that's why you always got to kind of look for the next kind of best thing. If it has a great white paper and great thing, and they're looking to be solid, you know, kudos to them. That's one that you want to stick around for because usually those work out usually. But for Greentree, the first thing I look at when I looked at it was the multiplier. Then after I looked at the multiplier, I looked at the APR and the APY. And what I saw on there was that per thousand, Greentree per $1,000 will net you about, which is to be about 28 to 30 tokens, would net you roughly about 0.31 seed. I'm saying Greentree, but the actual tree is super expensive. It's like over $200 something. If you want the actual token that they advertise, it's called seed, I believe. I think it's seed, and that's like around $35, $36. So that's what I look at. Okay, I can look at getting at least 0.31 per every $1,000 of this token that I own. And then I start to calculate it in my head. Is 0.31, is that worth it? Right? Is it worth it? If the token is gonna do well, of course it's worth it, right? I mean, 0.31 is not bad. But how much what are you trying to do with this project? First of all, what are you trying to do with this project? I ask that because that's going to determine how much you should even think about putting in the platform. I'm just going to be real. When I start analyzing these tokens and these projects, that's one of the things that I do is I try to determine, okay, I would like to earn this a day, but I'm only willing to put in this a day, right? So for example, when I was looking at Greentree and staking the seed tokens, what I was looking at personally was how many tokens do I need per $1,000? I've already told you at this price valuation, $36, it's about 28, 29, 30 bucks, or 30 tokens, give or take, right? So if it's 0.31, I'm now looking at how can I get that number to as close as one a day as possible. So if I put in $3,000 worth, I'm looking at roughly 0.93, 0.9 something a day. That's good. I can accept that. I can accept that. If I want to go over a token, then obviously, if I want to go over a token a day, it's obviously going to be more. And here's why it's really hard with these platforms as well, because there's another thing that you can't get stuck at watching as well. And I figured this out very quickly, is that oftentimes when we're looking at these projects, we get a oftentimes when we look at these projects, we get fixated on the APR, the APY, right? And we just burn those numbers into our memory. And then sometimes when later on when we're ready to make moves, you look back at it and it's like, oh man, it changed. What the hell, right? It screws you up. And that's because a lot of these platforms, they will change their APY, APR very, very quickly. And sometimes in a matter of a day, it can go down 100%. Well, I'm not going to say 100% because that would mean zero. But I'm saying if it is at, let's say you go there today, it's at 400%. Well, tomorrow, after the next 48 hours, that 400% can turn into 287%. You see what I'm saying? So when you're making your move, you kind of want to make your move as an effort to be like, to say, this is how much money I'm putting in regardless of what I get if they change the APR, APY. Because again, that's going to affect your earnings. And that's why I said, what do you plan on doing with the token? Are you planning on staying in like mid to long term, like 6 to 8 months, or 6 months to a year? Or are you trying to just kind of get in and get out, swap it for something else? Like, what are you trying to do? Because if you get in the habit of going to all these platforms, swapping in, swapping out, losing value, paying fees, it's like, what are you really doing with that platform? See what I'm saying? So when I looked at Green Tree, staking seed, that's what I was kind of looking at. Okay, if I can get at least close to one seed a day at this price valuation of $35, $36, in my opinion, that's really good. That's really good. Who else can say they make $30-something a day off of one token? It's crazy, right? It's nice, right? So that's how I kind of look at it. Also, what I look at is, I actually made a mistake. So right before I even go to pools or all that stuff, I always check out their social media. So I had it a little backwards. After I check out the contract and all stuff, next I check the social media. I check if they see if they have a Discord, if they have Telegram. I want to see people talking about this project in real time. I will check out the Twitter, etc. But what I want to see, like I said, is people talking about the project in real time. I want to see what they have to say, because that can really determine or be your last ditch effort, or your last bastion, your last barricade to getting burned. And I've seen quite a few of them today as I was looking through a lot of them. One of the main things that I saw with ones that I would have just put money in without doing my research, there are like 4 or 5 of them that when I started looking at social media and seeing what people had to say about it, that made my mind up right then and there. I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm glad I came here first before putting my money in there. I'm glad I came here first, right? Man, what the fuck? Yo, the freaking, the weather, bro, is so bad. It's really, really bad. But yeah, that's what I look at, because the chat told me right away what was going on. And sometimes you don't even have to speak. All you got to do is just sit there and look at the conversation, scroll up, go back into history, see what's going on. You know, I save time and money because I saw on a lot of these platforms that the biggest issue was the devs disappeared. The dev disappeared. The dev disappeared. Where's the dev? Nobody knows where the dev is. And you may look at the site and say, well, look, you know, they got close to a million volume. They're good. But you got to look at the entire project as a whole. You got to look at it like, are they acting like they're going to be here for an extended amount of time? Or are they acting as just they're doing the bare minimum to get people to create hype around it so they can collect more and more money, and then they rug pull you? These are things that you got to look at. And I know it's hard because you got to look at these things very quickly, and our emotions are to look at the price, look at the staking rewards, look at how much per thousand, how much do I want to put in, let me just throw it in there, and then I'll go research and figure out what's going on with this place afterwards. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's like, just save yourself the headache, or have a really good plan and hope that your plan lines up with the dev's plan to pull the plug. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to look at it. And Green Tree does look good, though. I'm not going to lie to you. When I looked at Green Tree again for like the 4th or 5th time, it looks like a solid project. It really does look like a solid project. And it's really hard to come by in the last couple months, because a ton of projects come out and a ton of them go away. So that's why I said, when you're in these programs, using these platforms, look at the track record, look at the other ones that were mildly successful, and see where they're at now. Because you got to use some wisdom as well. You know what I'm saying? You got to use wisdom as well. Again, when I got into Caramel Swap, it was a penny, right? I had no idea because I didn't do enough research, right? I got excited. I didn't do enough research, and I thought that it had just started in April. Little did I know that it had started well before that, maybe like in March or February. And when it first came out, it was like over $10, and I didn't notice that. I did not know that. I was just like, what? So immediately I started feeling like, man, I think I just bought a really bad shit coin. And I'm only excited now because it barely got, you know, it might go, it hit 20 cents at one point in time, and I'm excited like, man, I think this thing can hit $1. But when I start to think about it, it started out really high and people dumped it, and now you still have the people that stayed and the new people now just finding out about it. They're starting to rebuild because of the huge dump. And honestly, a lot of these projects are really cool and good and can last. They just been abused. They got dumped so hard that people just don't mess with them anymore. And it's like they have to start over twice. So when I looked at Green Tree, it looks great. My only complaint is that if I were to get in, I wish I could have got in at a cheaper price point before the blow up. The other thing that I saw was that they have quite a few social influencers that I'm guessing they probably partner with that advertises. There's nothing wrong with that. But what that tells me is, to me, that tells me a lot of people are finding out about this token because of the price point it's at. So I'll have to go back, look at the charts, see what it was worth before it got discovered and where it's at now. Who knows? Maybe they had that same price point. Maybe they opened up at $30. I don't know. So I'll find that out. But being that I'm already in a similar project, Pancake Swap, Uniswap, where they're already valued pretty high. I don't, with what my plans are for Pancake and for Uniswap, I don't feel like I have the energy and want to split up my funds to build up a third project that's already at pretty much, to me, a high value. You see what I'm saying? For $36 a coin, I don't really want to take from something else and push into that project. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pull another one. 8 swap. I've been talking about 8 swap for quite a little while. I got in when it was 88 cents. It was 88 cents. And I got into it then. And, you know, I haven't really seen people talk about it. And so I've been winning. And the price shot up. The price shot up to around $5 to $6 now. And I think it's because now more bigger influencers are starting to talk about it. Voscoin put out a video today talking about 8 swap. And he put in he had 500 banana. So I don't know if they contacted him and said, hey, can you do a video for us? You know, we'll fund your account 500 bananas and just kind of show people how to go back and forth and navigate the site and do different things. That's what they do. That's what some of these platforms will do for us. So we can get into this project. We didn't really put in much of our money, right? We didn't put in our money, but they piggybacked us and gave us a credit. There's nothing wrong with that either, at all. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I see people like Voscoin, that's got almost 300,000 subscribers now, talking about 8 swap, and then less than 2 hours later, I'm seeing the price go up, up, up. That's letting me know that a lot more people are getting exposed to it, and it's getting talked about. And pretty soon this token is going to be sitting at a sushi swap price over $15. You know what I'm saying? And so before that happens, you want to try to stack as much ape as possible. You see what I'm saying? Because there's going to come a time where that price is going to be at $15. And you're going to be saying the same thing, like, yeah, man, 15 is kind of a lot. But it might be undervalued then too. So, you know, it all just depends, man. But I'd rather put my energy into 8 swap right now to kind of build up those tokens. You know, I at least want 1,000 bananas. I would, you know, I would at least like at least 1,000 bananas, man. Staking, you know, I think that would be a really good thing. And then whatever that produces, I'm converting to Pancake. So like I said, I have a 3-layer system right now, actually a 4th layer because I added one more. But I'm at a point where I'm making pretty good caramel daily. That I'll leave it where it's at, and I'm gonna take that caramel and I'm gonna push that into Ape Swap to build up my Ape Swap tokens, right? From Ape Swap, I'm taking those extra bananas that I get at a certain point when I'm good with what kind of return I'm getting on a daily basis. I'm gonna take that and convert it to Pancake, right? You know, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. And in the meantime, whatever tokens I have in either one, if I get to the point where I'm like, I want out of caramel, I'll just take all that caramel. If it's worth $15,000, I'll take that caramel, convert it right over to Pancake. I'm trying to get to the point where with Pancake, I'm pulling in $4,000 to $6,000 a month just on generated passive Pancake earnings. I just want cake earnings. I can take that cake every week, convert it to BNB, let it sit. Every week, convert it to BNB, let it sit. When I'm ready to just do something with it, cash it out, go do whatever I want with it, you know? So, you know, it is, you got options, man, but that's how I layer mine. I don't know how other people layer theirs, but you always got to be on the hunt for that new thing. But if you are looking for a solid token that I believe is a solid token, I would say check out Green Tree. They have a great devs. They have great devs. They have a good community, and what they're actually trying to do with the token makes me think that they're gonna be probably one of the ones that stick around for quite a while and will become more popular. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.